suffer now, success later. Suffer now, success later. You've heard this saying a million times probably by now as well, Leon, that, I think they said something around 6 months of hardcore focus could put you 5 years ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the approach that I want to sort of just highlight out of this. It's not always possible, but if you can really, really put yourself into a position of suffering now, knowing that that's going to propel you forward a lot quicker in the future, that really, really will help.
At the end of the day, I think what's most important here is that the salary should be the side issue, right? It's going to come more down to what you want to achieve and what's the long-term strategy that should take precedent over anything else when you are presented with this issue. And once you do that, I'm sure the answer becomes a lot harder, even though the struggle is still real.
I think that we can take that as point number one. Sometimes you are forced to take a pay cut. I think that is quite obvious that if you're not in control of a specific situation, you don't really have a choice in that regard. But you do, however, have a choice as to how you approach it and how you react to that specific situation as well. And the one key that I want to sort of focus on is short-term suffering versus long-term success, right? So sometimes you're going to have to swallow your pride and look at it objectively and say, you know what, even though this is my situation right now, it doesn't mean that it's not going to change, number one. Number two, sometimes you have to inflict short-term suffering on purpose in order to get long-term gain as well. And that brings me to my second point.
Yeah.
And that qualification was supposed to leapfrog me into the next phase of my career. And I wasn't getting that from the organization that I was working at. So in that case there, I absolutely had to analyze my situation. I had to take a pay cut.
Yes.
And a lot of people would have looked at that and said, you know what, but why? You're going to go and you're going to do more work for that organization, but you're going to get paid less. For me, I had to look at it from a personal growth point of view.
Yeah.
And to me, that business was structured better than the other business that I was working for at the time. It had better structures in place that would teach me all aspects of business and how the organization is supposed to flow and work. They had processes and procedures, and I was more interested in that and in improving my personal skill set from the people working at that organization than I was interested in earning more money, because I knew in the short term, yes, I will be earning less money, but the skills that I will gain by talking and surrounding myself with the people working at that organization, by learning their processes and procedures and how they implemented them, that will in the long term earn me even more money. And fast forward a couple of years later, that has absolutely proven so true, and it's paid off. It's 100% paid off in my life.
They actually found that 45% of working adults, that's just less than half. I couldn't believe it's that many, because I know, especially being South African, how kind of protective we are of our income and things like that, because there's not that much that goes around here. But 45%, this is I assume in the US, are willing to give up some percentage of their salary just for more flexibility at work. So just having a better work-life balance. So being able to maybe work one day from home, and I'm not talking within the scope of COVID where we're all forced to home, just generally. Or maybe getting an hour extra a day off in order to fetch the kids and spend some time to get the kids and things like that. And they were willing to relinquish nearly 8.6% of their income for this one little benefit.
Wow. If you want to get access to sneak previews to our upcoming shows on a weekly basis, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel or join our Facebook page, where we also share our blog posts and other great content from time to time. So head over to our Facebook and YouTube channels and feel free to share it with your friends so that they can also join you on the journey to success. Until next time, guys, cheers.